This week on the Reel Watchlist Plus, we're doing the Mae West film She Done Him Wrong from 1933. Set in the gay 90s, New York singer and nightclub owner Lady Lou has more men friends than you can imagine. Unfortunately, one of them is a vicious criminal who's escaped and is on the way to see his girl, not realizing she hasn't exactly been faithful in his absence. Help is at hand in the form of a young Captain Cummings, played by Cary Grant, a local temperance league leader.
Deb, we want to remind our audience of the Reel Watchlist Plus to like, subscribe, and comment below because we want you to join us on this crazy ride through classic cinema.
That I got a pink parasol. Thank you for being the girl in me.
Well, it's actually more to a nod to Mae West.
Oh.
As you remember in She Done Him Wrong, she's walking around and many times she's sporting a parasol. So with this drink, the Diamond Lil cocktail, gin, and we mix it with an elderflower liqueur, and we throw in some lemon juice for a little tart and a little sweet with simple syrup. Throw some edible glitter, because Mae was all about the glitter.
Oh yes, I love it.
So drink, what do you think? She don't like it, I can tell. No, she got the faccia brute.
I have to have faccia brute.
She got the faccia brute.
That's really scary. That's like ugly face. Right?
It is. That's exactly what it is.
I'm learning Italian, even though it's Swiss. Since this is a Mae West film, a seminal Mae West film.
The first in which she is the headliner, because she was in a film before this, but she played a cameo and she stole the show. As what was said about her, she stole everything about the camera. And Paramount was looking to get out of bankruptcy. And they found a hot item in Mae West and they gave her her own movie.
Well, darling, she was an original. I'm gonna die. I bet you can't even guess. Can you guess my number, maybe?
I'm gonna guess your number. You're gonna give it a 5.
Did you look?
3, 2, 1.
Did you look?
No, I just know you. I just like
How do you know me?
Debbie gave it a 5. I give it a 9.
Like change. You go like John Frankenheimer's seconds and get a whole new persona.
And who knows Frankenheimer or whatever she just said. And I love the opening. I love the vignettes around the introduction of the actors and their characters. And then they roll into sort of a description, and then you see this scene outdoors where you have Diamond Lil being charioted down the road, and you have women of a certain class looking at her down because, you know, Diamond Lil has all voluptuous and full of glitter and glory. Kind of sets the stage for what to expect and gets you in the mood to go back in time into the 1890s.
Yeah, it is. And that's my favorite time period. But I still, you know, I had a lot of problems with
I can tell you had a lot of problems. Let's talk about the film and then you can tell me about the problem.
The thing about it's really cool because she does generate the one-liner that she's famous for. Come up and see me sometime.
I should come up sometime, see me.
And of course her paramour in this is Cary Grant, who's supposed to be this temperance leader.
Salvation Army.
Right, all perfect guy, which is hard to believe, but he's so young. I mean, he's super young. He's so wet behind the ears. And he hadn't gotten into his cadence of his acting style. Actually, Mae West was one of the people who started his career and really helped him on the road for his career. But she was so instrumental and had every detail. She cared about her costume. She did her own makeup. And the thing about it is, I don't think it would have flown at all. Of course, her style was so cool and had everything double entendre. But her costumes were so beautiful that it's like they were spectacular. I love looking at just the clothes.
I love the way she entered the saloon. And you have all these different characters kind of like at the bar. You see the older women, they're going back and getting their buckets of beer, and you have the guys in front of the bar drinking. And then there's this one scene where you have this naked woman painted on the wall. But there's a scene where as she enters, she's now with her new, not quite husband. She doesn't really have a husband per se. She goes from men to men and to get what she wants, because in her view, men do it all the time, so why can I do it and I'll do it better?
She's an opportunist, and she makes them all feel like 110%, and then she moves on to the next one. But, just to self-preservation and money, because she has no real income, except she is a singer. And I believe, doesn't she sing, is it this movie she sings Frankie and Johnny?
Yes, this movie, Frankie and Johnny.
Which was like a big deal. And even people later on, I knew that song.
Frankie and Johnny was sweethearts. Oh, how they could love.
Lil is doing her thing while there's again, these evil kind of opportunist characters. Her boyfriend at the time, who owns the saloon, has this other side business going on that Lil doesn't know about and kind of doesn't want to know about. And you have others that are trying to put this person out because they want Lil. Everyone wants Lil.
I just, the fact that that they were together, and I didn't feel this great chemistry between them. I thought Cary Grant was very underused. It was kind of a showpiece for Mae West, and if you're a Mae West fan, you're going to love this film, of course. But I've just felt that the subplots, the linear style was very weak in this film. And also her whole shtick was that she was an X-rated type of actress. And she never did anything like, go naked with her boobs out or go naked or anything. But just the innuendos, the sexual innuendos at the time were horrendous because the Hays Code came into effect. And of all times to pick the Hays Code, which was before the MPAA did their PG and 17 and all that, they took the postmaster to make up the thing, and he got paid $100,000 a year, which is a hell of a lot of money. But this movie, I think, came out right after, like before the Hays Code was enacted. And also, Mae West was one of the people they did it for because they thought, she's going to go wild, That to them, this was X-rated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to point out a correction because I was saying Diamond Lil.
Yes.
Because it was actually Lady Lou.
Lady Lou.
Because in the play, she was Diamond Lil, and that was the name of the play that she wrote. And they took the play and made it into a movie. She done them wrong. And here she's named Lou. Back then she was named Lil. Pardonnez-moi, I made a little boo-boo.
She was a big writer, and she wrote most of her material. And so she had real control. And at this time, she was very, very, very important. And she could, as I said, Paramount, as a studio that has gone in and out of bankruptcy so many times. It went out in the future with Irving Thalberg, and then it went out with, I forget who, but the Love Story saved it, and Rosemary's Baby. It just is, this saved it from total bankruptcy.
The budget for this film was $200,000. It made like $2 million. And at that point, Mae West can command any movie because this was something that Paramount, to get out of financial distress, they needed this. And she was able to deliver, which I think as an actress, as someone who came from vaudeville, from theater, and then goes into movies, to be able to command and demand what she wanted from producers, from directors, from the studios, it was unheard of at the time. And to be such a person that could actually say, this is what I want the lines written this way. Of course, they tried to stop her a couple of times, but for the most part, her one-liners were hers.
And the one thing I liked about Mae West is she was always very Zoftig. She wasn't this scrawny, skinny thing. She had big hips. But Zoftig means like she's a woman, and she had big shoulders, big hips. She actually looked kind of not skinny and kind of fat, in a way, but everything was so proportional. And the way she put herself across, because you look at the other women, which look like, she just was beyond, and the men just went crazy for her.
Well, she's also known for her play Sex. That was on Broadway, and she went to jail for it. They arrested her for obscenity because of the obscenity laws. As she pointed out later, it's the best thing that ever happened when she went to jail.
Of course.
Because she was able to not only get more notoriety, more attention, but she had friends in high places. She was friendly with the mayor of New York City. She had a way of just, it wasn't hard labor for her. And then after she got out, she actually did a couple more plays. She did a play called Drag. And that's why a lot of the gay community, especially gay men, love her.
She's one of their icons. Yeah.
Right. And her inspiration was a drag performer. His name was Brett Savoy. He was the first drag performer to perform on stage. And she used a lot of his and the drag community's style, their presence, as a way to act.
When did they do that? What year? Do you know around what time period that was, out of curiosity?
So in 1920, that's when Brett Savoy sort of came out onto the theater scene. And in 1927, cool. May wrote a play called Drag. Broadway didn't want it. Matter of fact, they told her it'll never come to Broadway. So where does she have this play produced and shown? New Jersey. And because of that, she not only learned more about the drag community, but then she became this larger-than-life person. Yeah. So are you ready for Joe's thing?
Irrefutably.
Mae West repeated her original stage role from the play Diamond Lil.
Yes.
Although in the film, Lil's name is changed to Lou. There was one other actor, other performer, who was also in that play. Can you name who it was? There was two. One was May. Who was the other?
If you had a gun to my head, I would not know the answer.
All right. Best guess. Out of the characters in that film, who else performed in that same play?
Are the other characters in there? The guy in jail?
No.
Oh, listen, I took a guess.
It was Russian Rita.
Oh, Russian Rita. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Raffaella
I'm learning.
Otiano, if I'm spelling and saying her name correctly.
Mode.
But Russian Rita was also in the play.
Okay.
So she actually took her along, left the men from the play out, and brought her. What the hell's going on with your hat?
My hat's going into sunset mode.
Yeah, it's falling, it's flopping.
Well, my hair's very slippery.
And for the audience, here you go. She Done Him Wrong would not only be the first time Mae West and Cary Grant would appear in a movie together. What was the other one? Guess below in the comment section. If you're right, we'll give you a shout out in a future episode of the Reel Watchlist Plus.
There you go. I find it dated. I mean, and there's films.
Well, of course it is. It's from 1930.
No, it doesn't have to be dated. There's movies that were made. I don't find things like Caligari dated. I mean, I just don't, you know. And I think that if it didn't have her star power, I don't think the film would have done as well.
I agree with you on that.
It was all around her, and it's for diehard Mae West fans. I just didn't find it as entertaining. I mean, I'll watch paint dry and grass grow. You know,
well, that's nice.
me.
So that's nice to share with the audience. That's great. So get your walls ready. Invite Debbie over. She'll stare at the walls all night.
No, I have to, because that's like my job. But I find that if for diehard Mae West fans, you're going to love it. But if not, and your inception is to wanting to know about Mae West, there are other pictures that I consider better.
I loved it. I don't think it was the best cinematically. Yeah. It was short. I think that was good about the movie, that it was short. The part I didn't like was they had these musical interludes to showcase her and this other performer's sort of talents, kind of like a music video of the day. But because of what it meant at the time, because of Mae West having a presence and a historical significance to movies, that a woman was able to control her own destiny in that movie, says a lot. That she had star power, that she can tell, for the most part, the studio bosses, she can call the shots.
Here we go. Number 1, I'm No Angel from 1933. Mae West and Cary Grant again. Circus performer Tira seeks a better life pursuing the company of wealthy New York men with improbable comic complications along the way. Obviously, they were seeing Grant's predilection for comedy as well as his good looks. Number 2, Go West, Young Man. 1936, starring Mae West and Randolph Scott, who, by the way, was Cary Grant's rumored lover for years. So it's really worth watching him. He's a handsome guy. A movie star stranded in the country trifles with a young man's affection. Number 3, Arsenic and Old Lace. I went through this last time, but I'm going to do it again. Cary Grant, a farce and screwball comedy. Mortimer Brewster, a.k.a. Cary Grant, a Brooklyn writer of books on the futility of marriage, risks his reputation after he decides to tie the knot. Things grow complicated when he learns that his beloved maiden aunts, Abby and Martha, are serial murderers. Also, it is a great turn for Raymond Massey and Peter Lorre, who you should know about because they are like great stars from that time. Here's another heartthrob, Gilda. Rita Hayworth, 1946, another bombshell in Hollywood. A small-time gambler hired to work in a Buenos Aires casino discovers his employer's new wife is his former lover. This made Rita Hayworth a huge star and is the famous poster on the prison wall in The Shawshank Redemption, which is another great film. My hat's going nuts. And number 5, Dinner at 8, another bombshell, Jean Harlow from 1933. As an aspiring New York socialite prepares for a lavish dinner party, her guests find themselves consumed by a tangle of business, romantic amid personal crisis, all of which come to a head on the big night of the dinner. This film catapulted Harlow to the biggest sex symbol in Hollywood at the time and coined the phrase, the blonde bombshell.
So, Deb, while I drink my Diamond Lil Ode to Mae West cocktail.
Me too. Look at it. I'm halfway through. Look at this. You never expected it.
Prison outfit. Why don't you come up and bail me out sometime? And while you're there, where the hell are we going next?
Baby, we never know till we're going, you and me, until we get to a soft spot. And we go there.